Hey, good day, everybody. This is Mr. Benning, and we're going to look at exponents. Okay, so we're going to start chapter 4, and chapter 4 gets into a lot of our exponent type things. So we're going to start with just some basic exponent stuff, just what it is, what it does, just to kind of how we actually start to look at exponents. So in this one, we're going to simplify expressions using exponents. We're going to so we understand that the exponent is multiplying a number, the exponent the number of times, so it's like repeated multiplication. I know the different. You will know the difference between a base and an exponent, and you can simplify and expand terms with exponents. So we're going to do a lot more simplification as opposed to expansion. So starting off, multiplication of the same number can be simplified using an exponent. An exponent is just the small number, so like here, that 6 would be your exponent, okay? So again, we can look at some of these. And so like, for example, we look at our right across, so it says the expression 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 can be simplified as 5 to the 6th. Know that there are let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fives. So when we count those up, this number becomes the exponent here. And so any type of expression, we got like 5 to the 6th power, okay, have two parts. One part is the base, okay, so the base is just the large number, okay, and so that large number, or the 5 here, is my base. So if I were to ask, okay, what's the base, you would say 5 is the base. And the other part is the exponent, or the little number. So sometimes you see me do both the little number, big number. So, or the exponent, which is the little number. So for any real number with b, with an exponent of n, we say the nth power of b, or b to the nth power is another way you'll see it. That's usually the way I will say it. So let's go ahead and look at example 1. Example 1 is pretty straightforward. We've got a number here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Since 6 is what we're repeated the multiplication, 6 is our base. And so what we'll do is we'll use the 6 as our number, as our base. So we write 6 to the 1, 2, 3, 4. It is the 4th power. So my answer is 6 to the 4th power. Now, sometimes you might have to simplify that out. So you'll do 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, and you'll get 1,200. And they may want you to expand that to 1296. But most of the time, if I want to say, okay, write an exponential form, just write it this way. All right. Expression in exponential form here. Notice we're multiplying a. We're repeatedly multiplying this one. So my base, in this case, is a. So I've got a. So we're going to count how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a to the 6th power. This one we don't simplify any further. We don't know what a is, so we leave the a alone and write it to the 6th power, and that's done. Okay? Now, there are sometimes we have numbers and letters, and this one has multiple letters. I have P, Q, 2, 3. So we want to combine the like things together. So there's a couple ways we can do this. I can rewrite it so that I can rewrite it with my numbers in front. So I can go -2 times 3 times, and I write all my, so then the lowest letter, the first letter alphabetically is P. So when we write our variables out, we always write in alphabetical order. So I won't go QP, I'll go PQ. So I write my P's out. So I've got 1, 2, 3 P's. So I go P times P times P times my 1, 2 Q's. So now we just put it together. I'll do -2 times 3, which is -6. And I can just do the times here. Go 1, 2, 3 P's. So that ends up being PQ. And then times 1, 2 Q's, which is Q squared. Now we just got the number and the two variables that are different, and we just mash them together. So that just becomes -6 P cubed Q squared. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. All right, so example 4 is the same way. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and put our numbers together. So we've got, and you can write it this way. I can do 2 times 3 times -4 times, and I can just use these parentheses, and I write my A's. There's 2 A's, so I'll write A times A times my B's, 1, 2, 3 of them. So that's B, B, B. And now we can combine them together. 2 times 3 is 6, times -4 is -24, times A is A squared, 3 B's, that's B cubed. We just, since we got them all separated, they're all different letters and numbers, mash them all together, so it's -24 A squared B cubed. And so those are our final answers. Okay, and sometimes we might have to do find the area. We don't know what the length and width are except in terms of a variable. Notice I got the length is 3y and the width is y. So what is the area of a rectangle in example 5 if the length is 3y and the width is y? Now what we'll do is, okay, we know the area is length times width, so my area is 3y times y, and that equals, so we just put it together. I got 3, because just write my number down, y times y, and I just do y squared. So I've got 3y squared would be the area of that rectangle. Same thing with the square. Square is length times width, with both the length and width being r. So you'll just have the area equals r times r. Well, r times r is just r squared. So, and we'll come back to some of these again. These rules for exponents. But for right now, I just want to kind of show you what we have here. So basically with the same base, multiplying with exponents, add the exponents. So like in example 7, so I'm going to go down and back a little bit. So in example 7, I've got a squared times a cubed. That ends up being a to the 2 plus 3. Well, 2 plus 3 is 5, so that's a to the 5th power. If we're dividing, in number 2 here, if we're dividing, same base, and we divide, we subtract the exponents. So example 8 is down here. So we got m to the 5th divided by m cubed. So that is m to the 5 minus 3, which is m squared. And then in 3, if we've got an exponent inside the parentheses raised to another exponent, that is, we're going to multiply those together. So here we got p to the 4th, all raised to the 5th power. That ends up being p to the 4 times 5, which equals p to the 20th power. If it's negative, we invert it, so we flip the number. But remember here that this b is just b over 1, or b to the m over 1. And so when we make it the negative, we got to flip it, okay? So like here, I got negative 3 here. I'll just do 1 over 6 cubed. Being that's a number, sometimes they'll make you put the denominator out, or that's 1 over 216. And you can check my work on that. All right, and sometimes you'll have more than one parentheses, like here I got b to the 4th, c to the 6th, all raised, all squared. And so you distribute the exponents and multiply. So here we'll do the 3 on the 2 and the 3 on that 2. And that's squared, so you have 2 cubed times r to the 2 times 3. Well, 2 cubed, we can simplify that and make that 8 times r to the 6, because 2 times 3 is 6. So that's 8r to the 6th. Now, other times you won't have exponents, so you got this 4 here. You can distribute between the 4 and the 6. So you have m to the 4 times 2, r to the 6 times 2, which equals m to the 8th power, r to the 12th power. As you guys can look at this, make sure you guys remember all this. We've got homework on this come later on this week. So you guys have a good day.